Okay, that's a little better. Hi. Long overdue. I know. Let me scoot my chair back a little bit. Okay. Hello. Now, I know you saw the title of this video and you thought that I was just being cute because, of course, we all know that Weight Watchers does not exist anymore. It's now called WW. But no, I did quit the company. And not because I had any problems with the company per se, but as I mentioned not too long ago, it actually took a really long time, but I got a new job. And it was a long hiring process, but I really loved my new job. And it just, I just couldn't make it work schedule-wise. I just could not. And it was a really hard decision to make, to leave the company because, as you guys know, I mean, I loved working for the company. Well, it was a mixed bag in some respects, but certainly everybody I worked with the most wonderful people that I really miss. And of course, I miss the members so, so much. But as many of you have noticed, if you've been going to, what are we calling them now? Workshops. If you've been going to your workshops, there's a lot of changes going on, starting with the name of the company. And this is the time of year, if you've been a Weight Watcher for more than a couple of years, you know that this is the time of year Weight Watchers, or whatever it's called, WW, where they roll new things out, which is cool. You know, I like that they keep things fresh. But every single one of those changes that you see in a meeting room or a workshop room or whatever they're calling it now, studio, every single one of those changes also represents hours of training and evaluations and all the stuff that the staff are doing, you know, to implement all of these new changes. So it's not just like, oh, we're calling it this now, or oh, we have this new thing now. There's a lot of training, you know, because when you ask somebody who works for the company about this or that, they need to be really knowledgeable about it. So there's a lot of training that goes on. So having said all of that, here's something I have to talk about. So I've been a Weight Watchers employee. Now I can say that because the company that I worked for was called Weight Watchers. So I've been a Weight Watchers employee for 5 years and some. And I've been a member. I still am a member. I've been a member for 20 years. So that, I mean, a good weight loss is a big part of my life. We could safely say. Now, I was a social media professional before I was hired by Weight Watchers. And I was very fortunate that I had, at the time that I was hired, I had a lot of friends who worked for the company who also worked in social media. And they were extremely generous with me in giving me advice about navigating, I have to be sure of how I say this, navigating the legal ramifications of what you should and should not, can and cannot share about the company when you're an employee versus just being a member, right? So I know there's people on social media who share all kinds of things and they work for the company, and that's fine. But for me, I was super, super careful about it, both as a social media professional and as a professional working for the company, you know. So I really felt like there was a lot of stuff I just could not talk to you guys about. I couldn't share my opinions about this or that change if I thought this worked or if I thought that maybe didn't work so well or whatever I thought. I had to kind of keep that to myself. I didn't feel like I could show you any of the materials because those things are all copyrighted. They're intellectual property of the company. And so for those 5 years that I was working for the company, if you notice my videos, and I know a lot of you wrote to me like, why aren't you talking more about Weight Watchers? That was why. It's because I was working for the company and I felt like I really needed to be extremely careful about how I talked about the company and what I shared and what I didn't share. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's frankly just copyrighted. And for me as an employee there's a lot of ways that it could be interpreted negatively, right? Even if I'm saying I love it, and I think it's awesome, and I show you like, you know, and something that's, you know, a piece of meeting room material, even if I'm saying I think it's great, I'm still there were a lot of lines and I felt very kind of hemmed in by those lines. And so anyway, so I didn't really talk very freely about it. So now that I'm back to just being a civilian member again, y'all can ask me whatever you want to know. And I am very happy to share my thoughts and very happy to share my opinions, because I have a lot of them, about Weight Watchers or WW. I quit, interestingly, and this was not my intention at all. I didn't plan to quit. I was really trying to find a way to make it work. And I just, I couldn't justify the amount of time that it would take to support doing, one meeting a week. That time would have to come away from my family. It would frankly have to come away from my time for myself. And so I was really a hard decision. But I quit, incidentally, right after what we call the fall event, which is where Weight Watchers tells you what all the new things that they're going to be rolling out for the following year are. So I do know what all of the new things are. I'm not going to violate anything and spill any beans that haven't already been spilled. I know they have a planned rollout, and I know what that planned rollout is, so I'm not planning to spoil any of that. But one thing I want to tell you about that I think is really, really cool, because I've heard mixed reviews about it, especially here on YouTube, is the new wins that I forget. You'll forgive me now, because for me, it's always going to be Weight Watchers. I'm always going to say Weight Watchers. I'm always going to say points. So I guess now I'm a dinosaur. Sorry. So if you've been going to your meeting, and I'm going to use all the old terminology, at some point people are not going to know what I'm talking about. When you go to your meeting now, you will see that they have a new rewards program called Wins, something Wins, WW Wins, Wellness Wins. Is that what they're called? And I've heard kind of mixed reaction to it. And I just, to weigh in with just my personal opinion and nothing else, I personally think it's amazing. And I know that it's hard to get used to new things. And I think it's going to take everybody some time to kind of get used to it. But I gotta say, and I couldn't say this before. So, one of the things that I found not so great about being an employee of the company for until recently, was that I really felt like in the advertising and in a lot of stuff, the company didn't mention the meetings as much as I would have liked them to, in commercials and stuff. They were always kind of pushing the app, in my opinion, and not telling people how great the meetings are. Because to me, what makes Weight Watchers different from every other thing out there is the meetings. And if you've been to the meetings, you know that meetings are they're so great. So I really love, I was so happy to hear that we have this new rewards program, which is now going to reward us for going to a meeting. Finally, the company is giving an incentive for people to try the meetings. And I think more people trying the meetings or workshops, and I'm fine with the new terminology and everything, but I quit as a Weight Watchers leader with meetings. So I think that more people having that experience is going to be a really great thing. And also, we the staff got to try out the rewards program a little bit ahead of time. There's some really cool stuff on there, you guys. So I used my points or my whatever wins for, I got a Whole Foods gift card. And so last month I went to New York City. I did a lot of traveling last month. You guys know I was traveling a lot for the book. And then I also had to go to New York City. If you listen to the Book versus Movie podcast, then you know that Margot and I got together and we did some recording while I was there. We had some podcast business to deal with. And so when I was in New York City, I got to eat at Whole Foods kind of for free using my wins. So that was pretty cool. I really appreciated that. So, yeah, I have a lot of stuff happening. I'm getting used to my new job. You'll hear more about that. Some things that I'm really liking about it so far is, number one, I don't have to drive. I am commuting by public transportation. And I've only been doing my full schedule for 2 weeks. So I haven't been actually really at it for very long. So what I've noticed in these 2 weeks, number one, because I'm commuting I'm not driving everywhere like I was before. I'm getting so much more activity, which is great. So I'm not having to like carve out special time to get my walking in. I'm getting plenty of walking in and as many stairs as I could possibly want and hills. And I'm getting a good workout just going through my day, which is great. So I'm really happy about that. And another thing that's really cool about my new job, I mean, the job itself is really fun and I'm really liking it. And I'm sure you will hear a lot about it. But just from like a Weight Watchers standpoint, another thing that's really cool about the job is that it's on a college campus, which is kind of neat. So I'm always around like all these students. And also literally next door to where I work is a Trader Joe's, which if you're a Weight Watcher, you know how much we love Trader Joe's and how many amazing options there are there. So most days so far, I've been taking my own lunch. Now that I have a more structured schedule, I'm finding that meal planning is much easier than it was before, much easier. So I've taken my lunch every single day. Probably one day each of the 2 weeks, I did not take a lunch. And so for those days, I went to Trader Joe's and I bought a salad to go. And so I think I have a really good chance at this new job from a Weight Watchers standpoint. So that's really exciting. But September was insane, you guys. Insane. So much traveling, so much time in the car, on the plane, on the train, a lot of time sitting on my fanny, and a lot of time eating because there weren't other options available to me, eating because we were celebrating, eating because I was working, you know, on the book and so here's what I would like to do. I would like by Christmas, and this for me is super ambitious, by Christmas, I would really love to lose 12 pounds. And if I were more clever, I would make up a song about like the 12 pounds of Christmas, but I haven't done that yet. Maybe I will. Anyway, so I really would like to lose 12 pounds by Christmas. And based on the last 2 weeks, I think I have a decent shot. Even though I'm totally a turtle in the weight loss department, I think I actually have a shot. So I'm going to try it. And one of the things that I decided that I'm going to do, because why not? Because I was inspired by dear Brianna of Diva and the Divine, I am going to try going back to Points Plus, just for funsies. You know, I'm a lifetime member of Weight Watchers. I fully have access to the app. It's not like, you know, I have the app. The app is free for me. I love it. It's if you use the Weight Watchers app, you know it's amazing. There's so much in there. You know, you have Connect and you have the 24/7 chat and you've got recipes and articles and oh, it's fantastic. But you know what? The first time that I got to Goal and Lifetime, I was doing Points Plus. So just for nostalgia, old time's sake, just for funsies, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do the iTrack bites following Points Plus, and I'll let you know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if she can lose 12 pounds for Christmas. We'll just see if that's remotely possible. So, anyway, so much to catch up on, right? Oh my goodness. But it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. But it was September was a real roller coaster. And for the last 2 weeks, I was traveling and I was also working for Weight Watchers and at my new job. It was crazy. It was crazy. And of course I was very emotional to be saying goodbye to all of my members. You know, I can't tell you, like everywhere I go, literally everywhere I go, I run into somebody who was a member of mine. I worked several big events for my new job, and each time I run into like easily a dozen people who were at least at some point a member of mine. It happened to me just yesterday. I was at a kids event and there were 2 parents at the kids event way far away from where I live who were former members of mine. So anyway, you know, it was a big part of my life. So I was also kind of emotional about that too. So this is a big heady time for me, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. Plus, I know all the best media go to in my area. I already know which meetings I'm going to be visiting or haunting as a member on a fairly regular basis, you know, now that I kind of know what my schedule is going to be like. So fingers crossed for me, guys. I really would love to lose 12 pounds. That would be amazing. I would go into January feeling like Wonder Woman if I could lose 12 pounds by Christmas. So I'm going to try it. I'm really going to try it. I'm going to, but I'm going to do it. I'm just for novelty and nostalgia. I'm going to do Points Plus and we'll see how it goes. Cause I love freestyle. I think it's a great way of eating. But as I said before, I'm a super turtle. I am I'm the queen of the turtles. So I'm going to just, you know, I couldn't possibly lose weight any more slowly by switching programs. But, you know, I've been like I said, I've been a Weight Watcher for 20 years. And earlier today, I was kind of trying to go over in my mind how many different Weight Watchers programs I have been on. And there's been things I've liked about all of them and things that were challenging about all of them. I've probably been on 7, at least half a dozen different programs in those 20 years. I still have I have my Sarah Duchess of York cookbooks, my Fergie cookbooks. And when I say Fergie, I don't mean that one that's married to Josh, what's his face? I mean Fergie, who was at the wedding with the green hat the other day. Yeah, so stay tuned for that, and I will try not to be gone so long. But this time I was gone for a reason. This time I was gone because I needed to wait until all of my professional ties with the company formerly known as Weight Watchers were well and truly settled. That took a while, so I had to kind of keep quiet about things for a little while. So yeah, that's it. How are all of you? And I'm so behind on all of your videos. So please let me know how you are. And let me know, like, all the Weight Watchers things you've been dying to ask me now. Ask me now. And I'm like mad at, was that Miss Cleo? Call me now. Ask me now. I will be happy to tell you all the things I think. No holds barred. Take care of yourselves. I will see you soon. Have a beautiful fall. Oh, we should share fall things, right? Everybody's sharing the fall things. I have some great fall stuff I found, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye everybody.